Before we start, I want to ask a question. You're an amazing audience, so I feel I kind of know the answer, but has any one of you ever created something? Raise your hand. Oh, wonderful. Has any one of you ever been to a makerspace? Great, like Tech Shop or Fab Lab or the biohacker spaces or anything like that. I want to tell you about TOM, Tikkun Olam Makers. We are a movement of technology creators who are working to address the unmet needs of people with disabilities. We work bringing people physically together and then sharing the results in the virtual sphere and circling back to the physical world. We are part of the Reut group. This is a strategy, a long-term seeing group located in Tel Aviv. And Tikkun Olam, the T-O in our name, is Hebrew for fixing the world. It's a kind of Jewish philosophy notion that talks about our obligation to leave the planet a little better than the way we got it. Our interpretation for that is we want to use our talent, technological and otherwise, to improve the life of other people, specifically people that are being neglected by other life systems. This is Kim, the one in the middle right. She's from Sacramento here in California. She was born with no limbs. Imagine trying to reach out to stuff that is far from where you can reach with your neck and mouth. Kim is amazing. She lives a full and wonderful life. She works, she has friends, and she operates a computer and moves her wheelchair around. But naturally, there's a whole set of challenges that are unique to her ability. And this little girl in the middle is Yoon. She's 4.5 years old, lives in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. She was born with severe cerebral palsy, the kind of that if you would have been born here in the States, you would have had a chair or a supportive device to assist you. For the first 4.5 years of her life, she has been on the hands of her mother in this posture. The kid that holds her is the mother. The kind of chair that she needs costs around $3,000 if you buy it here, the basic models, and this is roughly 18 months of salary where they are. Imagine 4.5 years. Or imagine being a 9-year-old kid, almost 10. This is Ben. He came to us with an interesting request. He said, I want to go on a skateboard. The only problem is that I'm visually impaired in a way that doesn't let me walk unassisted, let alone ride a fast-moving wheeled flat surface. So 3 different needs. The one thing that is common for them is that there is no off-the-shelf solution that is available to the people that need them. About 1 in 11 people in the world, depending whose data you want to rely on, about 1 in 11 people in the world is defined as living with a disability. About half of them living with severe disability, which means if it's not attended to, it is going to make their life very, very bad. In the developing world, it's usually a death sentence. The market and public systems are failing people with disabilities. In many cases, technology can be of help, but it doesn't get to the people that need it. And we've seen a huge amount of amazing technology around us today. But there are 2 very common cases that limit this technology from getting to people. One is that developers do not know of the problem or don't know enough about it, so they don't develop a solution. And the other is where solutions exist, but they are just far, far too expensive to reach the people who need them. And what too expensive means changes if you live in San Diego, or if you live in East Palo Alto, or if you live in rural Vietnam. But the basic challenge is still there. In many cases, a challenge is just unique, and it represents a market so small that no one is going to start a commercial company for it. When we deal with generally problems, unwanted situations in life, sometimes people just get to a state of mind of no hope. This is what my life is going to be from now on. I'm not judging that. Many people are forced into a no-hope situation in life. Other people may go ahead and think this is a problem indeed. I bet smart people somewhere are working on it. And when they find a solution, I will maybe someday be able to have it. And some people hack the problem. This is the usual approach of makers, problem solvers, tinkerers, creators. And I'm here to invite you to join us in hacking problems that help other people. Hacking this problem means use whatever is available around you, tools, knowledge, skills, people, to make a solution. We live in a very innovative world. The accessibility to the most cutting-edge technologies has never been so high, and the cost of getting to it has never been lower than today. Post the third industrial revolution, post the big data revolution, and in the heat of all of the exponential technologies and the fields that people in this very room represent, everyone has access to an amount of resources never available before. And in the same way, the internet has made every one of us a potential creator of content. Exponential technologies, together with the Tom approach, which I'm going to tell you about, is making everyone a potential creator of solutions. And I'm tapping into things that Dara before me and Anthony before me said. And I'm going to show you how we actually create the platform for collaborations of makers and people with disabilities and generally every unsolved problem. And I'm even going to ask you to join. Stuart Brand, the legendary author of the Whole Earth catalog, said, "We're all gods, we might as well get good at it." I will dare to add, since we create, we might as well get our creations to do good. What we actually do at Tom. So far that was theoretical, but Tom is here to push people to hack their problems, to hack other people's problems, and to share the solutions with the world as wide, as fast, and as cheaply as possible. We divide the world into makers and need-knowers. Makers are anyone that can produce something. People who are engineers, developers, designers, hobbyists, professionals. If you can generate a piece of code, a piece of metal, or a piece of wood, we want you with us. Need-knowers are people who can describe a challenge. These can be professionals, or these can be people that, due to their personal life situation, have a very intimate understanding of a challenge. We ask them to describe a challenge, sometimes doctors, sometimes therapists, and sometimes the people with disabilities themselves. Our work at Tom is to bring them together, to facilitate the meeting, and to make the solutions shareable and understandable by many people as possible. So I told you about Ben, the kid with the checkers shirt. The team around him is a very varied group of talented people, mechanical engineers, data scientists, and whatnot. They fell in love with Ben, and they decided to hack a skateboard for him. Using a real-sense 3D camera and a set of 24 buzzers around the head of the kid, his skateboard is now looking around for him and tells him what's going on around it. And you remember Yoon, the kid that needs a $3,000 wheelchair. Her team in Vietnam created this wheelchair for her. It is made out of one piece of plywood cut in a CNC router, which means you can take any piece of wood, throw it into the machine, and you get most of the chair ready. It cost $88 to manufacture. It even had a lion painted on it because she likes lions and they wanted her to like the chair. This is Yoon for the first time in her life, awake and not lying down. The files for making this chair are available to download, so if someone needs a chair like this in Vietnam, in Laos, or in the US, they can download it for free and just go ahead and manufacture it. And this is Kim. She's testing here the grabber, $4 3D printed zero electronics grabbing device that was created with her in the Bay Area Makeathon, a 3 days makeathon, a marathon of makers that was facilitated in Tech Shop San Francisco exactly a year ago from now. We're going to see, this is the instruction set. If you want to manufacture a grabber for someone, you can download this like an IKEA or a Lego instruction set, step by step, how to make it, 3D print the files, and assemble according to the guidelines. And I'm going to show you a short video of Kim using it in her office. Don't blink, it's very short. And since everything is open source and shared online, one of the things that happens is forking. With open source projects, someone can download the project, look at the files, and say, it almost fits my need. I will tweak it, and I will edit it to fit my needs. It happened with this project a couple of times. This is my favorite. I don't know if you can see, but Sefi is holding a grabber in his mouth. The grabber has two hands at the far end. They put the hands of a doll on the two arms, and the head of the doll is right above it, and he's playing with his 4-month-old kid. This is what our hackathons look like. That was our Makeathon hosted together with Google in Tech Shop San Francisco exactly 1 year ago, one of our 12 Makeathons run around the world so far. Our goal is to make assistive technology available for anyone, regardless of how much money they have or in which country they are. We're committed to what we call help one, help many. We always work when we have our customer, if you want, our need knower around the table with us. And once we have a solution for one person, we are looking at scaling it up, going backwards and looking at the situation and sharing the files and the know-how with everyone. Everyone that comes to our activity agrees that what they create is Creative Commons. So we don't have IP, we are a non-profit organization, and we do not sell our products. Ramesh Mashalkar, Director General of Council of Scientific Research in India, said, "We're in the area of doing more from less for more and more. This way, the world will be better for anyone." To this vision, we thought about scalability and sharing of our information. Anyone who's ever been to a hackathon or a makeathon is probably thinking, well, we come for 3 days, but what happens when that ends? People go home and their projects are lost. That is the usual case. Not in our case. We have real people that are looking for the solution. Together with Google.org, the Schusterman Family Foundation, eBay, and Stratasys, we are working to develop the marketplace. A beta version is actually online already. We want it to be the place where need knowers and makers meet virtually to continue working on the products that they conceived in the physical gathering. In its stable state, it's going to be the place where people are going to point at a solution that they want, and the software will give them not only the files, but also the connection to the makers closest to them that can help them customize and fabricate in the makerspace next to them. And we hope it to be not just the place for Tom people, but a meeting point for all connected humanitarians of the world. This triada of unmet needs, the passion to create, and the exponential available resources is changing the world. Our process is very, very straightforward. We look for challenges and develop prototypes in a 3-day makeathon. The organizer of our Washington, D.C. makeathon is actually with us today, and the future organizer of the UC Irvine makeathon is actually with us today. That's a makeathon. Then we take the prototype and continue developing it in developer groups. These are teams that meet on a weekly basis to continue working until we have a product. Our definition of a product is one person using it, and the files are hosted online. Very simple, very streamlined. We've done so far 12 makeathons around the world, 10 different cities. We have something in the proximity of 2,000 people working with us. We have been offered about 600 challenges, and about 130 projects were developed. Numbers move time and time again. We started Tom about 2 years ago in Israel, in Nazareth, as just a makeathon. Since then, our community worked in the US, in Brazil, in Argentina, in Canada, in Vietnam, and before the end of 2016, we have makeathons coming up in Sofia, Bulgaria, in Melbourne, Australia, and another one in the US. Incidentally, our makers and need knowers have found another Holy Grail. We found out that we facilitate an unmediated, very naturally occurring conversation between those who need something and those who can offer solutions. And if at the beginning we thought of makers as people that work with wood and metal and 3D printing, we know that today these are data scientists, and in many cases these are very real people that do very complicated things that are a little bit outside of the physical, tangible world, and we create this conversation. And the last thing I want to say is that for the first time, we're going to bring live action into exponential medicine. Our team here will work with the family of Stacy from San Diego. She's our need knower for this conference. Stacy is the mother of 3 children with the Engelmann syndrome, and she is an expert to her and their needs. Not the medical needs, the hardcore medicine is not our work, but anything around it where we can be of assistance, we're going to try. Our makers, we have 15 of them here. You'll see them wearing white Tom t-shirts. Makers have 48 hours starting this midnight, and a room full of 3D printers, laser cutters, creating machines, whatnot, to come up with solutions. This is happening in the Coronat room right outside of the lobby. This has been made possible through the support of Ovid, which is working on a cure for Angelman syndrome and is connected to the community worldwide. We want to ask you all to join us. Look for the people with the Tom shirts and see if you can contribute your skills or knowledge to help them. Join the Makeathon demonstration, the mini Makeathon that we are running. We have 15 people here. In our regular Makeathon, we usually have 150. You are going to help us complete the missing skills, I hope. And come to our breakout session. The first one is tomorrow at 1:30 in the Corona room. We are going to do a rapid ideation and making session and ask for your help in working with makers and need knowers. With that, I want to reiterate, TOM is a movement of makers working globally to address unmet needs of people with disabilities. I think, and we have learned, that anyone can, and anyone has got a very good reason to be involved in our activity. You may be a maker, or you may be a need knower. And our world is full with opportunity to do amazing things and to marvel with them. Join us. Thank you. Great to see you all again. Who from the people here has been in my first talk in the first day? For the last 3 days, actually a little less than that, 48 hours or so, we've been hacking and making here in the Innovation Lab. You might have seen we're building stuff, 3D printing, doing some very interesting things. It's a great experiment and experience for us as well, and I want to share with you what we've been doing and what are some of the results. And you might remember that I told you about Stacy, a mother of 3 children from San Diego, who is the need knower that was kind enough to be with us in this experience, so I give you Stacy.
Hi, everyone.
Feel free. Which was amazing in sharing the needs and the insights before the process and throughout it, knowing that this is a complete wild thing to do together. And without much further ado, I want to walk you through the process. TOM, Tikkun Olam Makers, is a global movement of makers working to address neglected problems of people with disabilities. We want to make assistive technology available for anyone, regardless of where they are in the world or how much money they have. We connect makers, inventors, and problem solvers with need knowers, those who have a deep understanding of a real-life challenge.
We want to show you how we take one-person challenge, develop the prototype for them, and then transport that prototype to an open-source product available to anyone around the world.
TOM's 72-hour intentional makeathons are the first meeting point where need knowers work together with teams of makers to develop successful prototypes.
Taking the momentum of the makeathon, TOM developer groups continue working on developing solutions on an ongoing basis. By helping one user, the TOM community can help many. The developer groups deliver the products as open projects, so anyone can replicate them for their needs. The last stage scales the impact by creating a platform for the TOM community to upload the Creative Commons designs to the open maker market.
Tikkun Olam means changing the world. We are fortunate to work with passionate people from all over the world and a vast network of dedicated partners. Technology has the power to transform our lives quickly and vastly. It is up to us to make this change be for the better. We usually do relatively big makeathons. This is the smallest that we've gone. We had 15 people here. We usually do 150, give or take. We are very thankful for Ovid Therapeutics for making it possible. Ovid is a company that is developing a cure for Angelman syndrome, sorry. And they were kind enough to support us on a very, very short timeline and bring us here. We're also thankful for Daniel Kraft and for Exponential Medicine for making this possible. We started when we met Stacy about 2 weeks ago, and the general thing that we do, as I said before, we bring makers and need knowers together. So in our vision, Stacy is an expert to the needs, and she is the one that is managing the experience and knows what should be done. I want to give it to you, Stacey, to tell about the experience from your perspective.
Okay, so this has been just overwhelming, and it's happened so fast. It's been about 3 weeks since I heard from Ovid to see if I was interested or if I could come and be a part of this Makeathon. And it's just been such an amazing experience that all of these people came from such a far place away from San Diego to come and work with me and my kids.
Thank you. This is a home visit that the makers have done 48 hours ago, or a little bit more than that. We usually do that about a month before the Makeathon, but since the timeline was very short, Stacey was kind enough to host a group of crazy makers in her home just before the conference began. And we met with the kids and with Stacey herself and collected challenges. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what we did with them. You've seen the makers, the people that spend some of the time here with Tom t-shirts, and one of the things that happens when we say makers is that people tend to kind of look at them as one unit of hobbyists and do not realize who is really in the room. So just very, very quickly, we have Matthew Chan with us, which is a mechanical engineering student from MIT, and Oded Shurer, who is a product developer from Israel. Bo Pollitt is an aerospace engineer. Saraya Moore is doing magic stuff in tech shop. Ilan Sherman is the head of a composite material unit in Israeli aeronautical industries. Jonathan Asher is a mechanical nautical engineer, a marine carpenter, and a deep sea driver. Matan Nino is a researcher in IBM Research Labs, a data scientist. Guy Sheffer is an open source guru, which has huge projects already working online. Look up Octopi. Hagit Alon, she's a PhD in computational biology. Yoav Argov, Gal Friedman, Dexter, and David Chipoletta, sorry. And if I missed anyone, it's on me. I'm really sorry. This is highly trained professionals that were kind enough to dedicate some of the time to work with us, and we are very fortunate for that. We also got some surprising assistance coming from right here in San Diego. When we started working, and after my talk in the first day, we got some requests from the makers community of San Diego itself. Mara Green and Rhys Charlotte, and a couple of other people that were off-site in the Maker Place, San Diego. For those of you who don't know, this is one of the best maker places in the world, maker spaces in the world, an open lab where you can make literally everything. Also, from the exponential medicine crowd, we were in a very unique situation. Whenever someone thought about something and needed to consult, the right people, the best people in the world, were here. So we are thankful for Ran Goshen, for Amir Sold, for Michal Belberg, and for Linda, which I apologize I did not catch the last name of, and many, many others that came by and helped and contributed to our work there. Without further ado, we'll quickly walk you through the challenges. We have had 48 hours to think about solutions and 48 hours to develop prototypes of what we think may be useful. We've gone through six and a half, almost 7 devices. Let me walk you through them. So one issue is sleep tracking. We cannot put trackers on the hand or body of the children because they are very touch sensitive. Correct me if I'm wrong or if you had anything to add.
They don't like things touching them.
And we were thinking, what's the right way to do that? We went ahead and get sort of a off-the-shelf sleep tracker, very cheap, very affordable. Someone was kind enough to get it for us from a shop here in San Diego. And we hacked it until we got heart rate, movement, and breathing patterns. And we are continuing to collect data. Of course, it's not applicable yet, but we got an initial understanding of what we want to get out of it. One thought is that this might be able to give us a hint on when a seizure is coming or happening. Because sometimes seizures happen at sleep time and they are not noticeable.
Yes, very correct.
The code for this is available on GitHub already, starting yesterday. Anyone can download it, tweak it, help us develop, or use it for their own needs. Second challenge is kitchen safety. Do you want to say a word about it?
The kitchen, of course, is always a safety issue. The stove is in there, the oven's in there, there's knives in there, and I can only put so many things so high that my kids can't reach. So they were able to just push through the current gate that I had at the house.
We called it the Open Sesame challenge because you needed a passcode to open the gate without making the house a fortress. So we hacked an Arduino and a 3D printed locking mechanism, and when you punch the right combination on the button, it will react only to the right combination, not to this one. And it will open the gate. Very simple, very straightforward, and answer the need. Fine motor skills. Some of the children has got issues with using the iPad. And they're using iPad for literally every kind of communication, and they wake up with it and go to sleep with it. The hands are not always as stable as we would want them to be. So this very hacked device is stabilizing the finger. You can see that there's a ring in the middle. If you like it, you put a ring on it, and it stabilizes your finger. We got a very interesting tweet while walking in it, so we thought we would share. And this is actually what it looks like.
I feel very happy.
It's a communication software. The hand has got the right enough of tension to stabilize the movement. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much. Let me reiterate. I'm speaking. The makers did the work. I'm just speaking. Another issue with fine motor skill is typing very specific points in the iPad. So we took a design of the software. We used a laser cutter and a beautiful Soraya to cut a frame that connects and attaches to very specific applications. This is what it looks when it's ready. You can very easily customize it. It costs literally nothing. There are off-the-shelf solutions like that, but they're expensive, not suitable exactly to these demands, and hard to maintain and hard to customize for specific applications. The design for this is open online. Another one is Hypersensitivity. Oh, I'm forgetting to show them. They're all here. I'm sorry. This is the ring one. Hypersensitivity. Holding a pen can be a frustrating experience for children who are hypersensitive. We were looking for different textures and feelings that might be useful for them. Created a bunch of prototypes, and we're going to continue working on them and refining them. We got some help from local San Diego makers, and here are a couple of the solutions that were created. It wraps around the pen and makes holding it more pleasant, improving the chance of the child being able to write and wanting to write. A word about handoff. We handed off this project and some other to the local makers here, because some of us are going to go back to Israel or to Canada or to the US, wherever they came from, and we want Stacy to be able to continue communicating with local makers, and we were fortunate to have the local makers here with us.
Right.
Drawing and writing. Sometimes what you need is to give some degrees of freedom to your hand, and your wrist will not communicate. You want the elbow to provide you degrees of freedom. You want something that is very simple, not very destructible, and comfortable to put your hand on. This is the design, work in progress product. Suction cups hold it to the table, magnetic controlled friction surface here, and we were actually thinking of looking for a plastic surgeon for a replacement for this pillow. If you happen to have implants, let us know. This is what it looks when you use it for writing, and this is the BOM and design files available online to download. If you want to create something like this or tweak it for your own needs or someone around you, you can download it. You have a list of what you need to buy and assembly instructions available online. This is the work of 48 hours. 48 hours to design, 48 hours to make and hack. Just a couple of pictures of what it actually looked like. For the last 48 hours, our guys got a little crazy, walking, dancing, walking. And of course, what happens last night at 4 a.m., like literally 6 hours ago in the lobby, stays 4 a.m. in the lobby. I want to make a very clear ask. I know it's unconventional, but we would like to ask you to plug into our network and to use your power for good. You are an exceptional group of people with the right intentions and the right powers. I want to ask you to set aside time to give your expert advice to our people. I want to suggest that you can organize a Tom community wherever you are, in your company, university, community, or any other thing. I've had a couple of conversations about it with you, and I would like to suggest that we continue that. Become a financial or otherwise partner with Tom. Join philanthropies like the Schusterman Family Foundation and Google.org, who have invested in our organization to grow our impact. And I would like again to thank Ovid, Singularity University, Daniel Kraft, and the one and only Laurence Inuz that this would not have been able to happen without her. And Stacy, I'm forever at your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, guys.